My friends, what's the difference between Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton? Well, there probably isn't very much of a difference at all. My name is Howard Real, and this is Real Truth. It's a really interesting question. Let's do a side-by-side comparison. Hillary Clinton was running for president. She was stupid, inept, corrupt, was protected by the media, had big money cronies, crumbled on the way into her car, and coughed endlessly. Joe Biden, on the other hand, is running for president. He's stupid, inept, corrupt, is protected by the media, says shockingly stupid things, fondles women and children, has big money cronies, was part of an administration that nearly ruined America, has mental lapses, doesn't always know where the hell he is, and now he's got a bleeding eye. Item from the Washington Examiner. Former Vice President Joe Biden appeared to have a blood vessel burst in his left eye while participating in CNN's town hall on climate change. A broken blood vessel in the eye, also known as a subconjunctival hemorrhage, can be caused by several things, including high blood pressure, bleeding disorders, blood thinners, or even excessive straining. Biden, 76, has long been plagued by health issues. In 1988, he suffered an aneurysm that burst and required him to undergo emergency surgery. The then senator was so close to death, a Catholic priest began preparing to administer the sacrament of last rites. Months later, surgeons clipped a second aneurysm before it burst. Biden then took a 7-month leave from the Senate following the surgery. Describing the operation, he once said, quote, "They literally had to take the top of my head off," unquote. Folks, I wonder if they emptied his skull when they had the top of his head up. But anyway, I digress. The story continues, quote, Jill Biden said in her recently released autobiography, Where the Light Enters, that at the time she feared her husband would never be the same. Quote, "Our doctor told us there was a 50-50 chance Joe wouldn't survive surgery," she wrote. He also said it was even more likely Joe would have permanent brain damage if he survived. And if any part of his brain would be adversely affected, it would be the area that governed speech, unquote. Doctors removed a benign polyp during a colonoscopy in 1996. In 2003, Biden had his gallbladder removed. He suffers from asthma and allergies and takes a prescription drug to lower his cholesterol. He also takes medication for an enlarged prostate. Biden has not disclosed his medical history since 2008. When doctors found he had an irregular heartbeat. Biden has also raised eyebrows for the increasing number of verbal blunders he's made so far on the 2020 campaign trail, the schedule of which has been markedly lighter than his main rivals. Folks, as long as I mention Joe Biden's wife, Jill, she said just a couple of weeks ago that voters should hold their nose and vote for Biden. Well, there are a lot of people holding their noses these days. They're not necessarily going to vote for Joe Biden. They're looking at the Democrat spread of candidates, however many are left, however many you've ever heard of. And they're holding their noses because one is dumber than the other. None of them, not a single one, is capable of functioning as a president, let alone doing any good for this country as president. Look, let's be honest. The show's called Real Truth. I adhere to the truth at all times. Joe Biden was never a smart man. People who know him personally will tell you that. People who've known him for decades professionally will tell you that. He's not a bright guy. Now he's failing. He's failing. He's got mental lapses. He's just not there. Maybe it's age. He's 76 years old. Maybe it's the various and sundry mental problems, physical problems he's had with his head, with his heart. Maybe it's all of the above, or maybe it's the fact that he's a horse's ass. Whatever it is, it's instructive to note that this guy, this loser, this mental midget, he's the leader of the pack among the Democrats, which tells you pretty much everything you ever need to know about the pack of Democrats. And the pack of Democrats tell you all you need to know about the Democrat Party. They're not looking for the best and the brightest. They absolutely couldn't be, because the best and the brightest aren't liberals. But even within their own ranks, they're looking for someone who's got the right donors, or the right skin color, or the right sexual organs. That's how Democrats and liberals think. Well, they're quickly discovering that their frontrunner, Joe Biden, former vice president, has none of those qualifications. All right, maybe he's got genitalia. I don't know. What do I care? Ask Jill. But the fact of the matter is they are a sorry lot, pushing a philosophy and a set of policies and strategies that have not worked, have never worked. And if you doubt my veracity, take a look at Chicago, take a look at Detroit, take a look at Baltimore, take a look at Los Angeles and San Francisco, on and on and on and on and on. Democrat strongholds for decades, and they are now toilets. Little by little, meter by meter, Americans are catching on to that fact. They realize that Democrats are responsible for the poverty, for the crime, for the disorder, for a lot of the corruption in this country. They've been a blight on the land. And Joe Biden is their leader. Well, remember, I predicted many weeks ago Biden's going to be gone. He's going to be gone. He'll find some kind of hocus-pocus reason having to do with his health, and he'll step out. I find it hilarious to the point of wanting to weep that the party seems to be turning to Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas, Hiawatha, a woman who never got anywhere without lying about her heritage. Talk about ethnic borrowing. A woman who wants the Green New Deal, which would bankrupt this country post haste ipso facto. A woman who hasn't got any original thoughts between her ears, and the thoughts she does have all don't work. She's shrill, she's strident, she's a loser. And she may not even be as qualified as Joe Biden. After all, what has she done except make a fool of herself on the national stage, pretending to be a Native American? These are your Democrat candidates. This is your Democrat Party to be avoided like the plague. It's Thursday. It's Real Truth. I'll be right back.